Hello, you over 3,000 amazing people and the 83% who have yet to subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about a new project, a new passion project for Age of Sigmar, and that is, well, you're just going to have to sit there and watch. Right, so I'm going to be doing a passion project because I think everybody needs a passion project, and I've kind of got that with 40k and my little Howling Griffons, which are up there in the cabinet. So I want a project that I can really delve into and really have a lot of fun with and try to sort of do stuff that I've not really done in Age of Sigmar. And I was very lucky. And as you may have noticed, there's a little add-on to the top of my screen, and was able to get my hands on a set of the Stormcast Eternals from the new Skaven Tide box. So it's going to be them. But one of the things I've noticed about the Stormcast Eternals, especially done as by content creators online and on YouTube and stuff, that they've kind of followed a similar trend. Apart from one, and we're going to be looking at this, and this is what's really inspired me to sort of really do something like this. So basically what I'm talking about is when Games Workshop send this stuff out, you get the big painting channels, the big painter content creators, and they do something kind of cool. So you've got likes of Andy Wardle, as from Cult of Paint, did his video on the sort of really cool speed painty way, army painting way of doing the weathered Stormcast. And obviously that comes off the back of the studio doing these in a really sort of cool weathered way. And then every other channel that does Stormcast Eternals kind of follows that trend. There's various variations of it. You know, you have some channels that'll do it in gold and it'll be heavily oxidized and everything else, but it generally follows the same trend. The studio have done a weathered metallic effect, and then every other content creator from that point on will then try to do something similar. So it's very easy to fall into that trap, especially if you are a content creator like myself. I could easily just fall into that and do like a Hammers of Sigmar and make them weathered and true metallics and weather them up, or I could do the Hallowed Knights, or I could do one of the other classic schemes for Stormcast Eternals and do them as well. And it's something that I don't want to do. And I think to do a passion project, and it's one of the things that I've learned doing the Howling Griffons for 40k, is one, you have to enjoy doing it, right? It has to be a color scheme that you enjoy doing, and it has to be a project that you are really heavily invested in, because each model is going to take hours. Like my Howling Griffons can take anything up to 6 hours per Marine, and that's a long time, you know. And when I've had the painted element that I've done so far on the table, and I look at them and I'm like, yeah, these are so cool. It really sort of excites me to sort of do that for Age of Sigmar. And I kind of did the same thing with my Cities of Sigmar army. But obviously the Cities of Sigmar army is on hold until I really sort of work out the direction that the army needs to be taken into, because I'm going to have to obviously get some more cavalry and stuff like that. And I really want to see the battle tome, because there's a lot of changes for that army in regards to the dwarfs and the elves and the direction that Games Workshop's going to take the army in Wave 2 that I kind of want to see before I really sort of jump back into them in a big way. And I really want a project for Age of Sigmar that I can really sink my teeth into. So getting my hands on these really sort of give me that kickstart, me up the bum, and was like, right, you know, I've got them. I've got a basis. I've got a spearhead worth of men and ladies. Let's do this. And every edition I kind of do a Stormcast army and then eventually sell it, because like I've gone down the normal standard color schemes, or I've done them quickly to a generally good standard, but like not something that I'm really going into. So before I go into any more of my plans of what I want to do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up Instagram and I'm going to show you an Instagram creator, content creator, who has basically inspired me to do something similar. Not similar to what he's done, but kind of get that idea, okay? But let's have a look. Yeah, so Breach and Brush, he's a fantastic painter, and seriously go out and check out what he's doing. But he has gone a very really cool direction with his Stormcast Eternals. So the latest post that he's done is this guy. Now, this is just so good, like so good. Like look at that! Look at how good this is. Like this is insane. Like this is really gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And I love the color scheme. This is a color scheme that you don't often see with Stormcast Eternals, that Dark Angels green. And it's really, really nice. And the contrasting of the red on the mount and the flamey weapons and the little subtle conversions on the helmet are really nice. Now, I'm not going to go down the route of converting the models because I don't really want to. I want to really sort of do the painting side. But this is beautiful work. Absolutely beautiful. It's different. You don't see a Stormcast Eternals army like this. Most of the time, they're going to be metallic. And I think this is just absolutely, it's like next level. And some of the other stuff that he's done, I mean, this is one of the Vindictors, the guys with the swords. And like reading his post, he's kind of been heavily inspired by like Elden Ring and Dark Souls. And you can really see it, like really see it. Such a unique color scheme because you don't see this dark green, and it works really, really, really well. I mean, like, look at those guys. The glow on the sword, it's just so good. And this is what I want. This is what I want to do in a project myself. Not necessarily the conversions with the helmets and things from like the Bretonnian kits and stuff, but I really want to sort of do something like this, sort of come up with my own sort of Stormhost with these new miniatures. And they're really good, like absolutely stunning. It's just so good. Absolutely love it. And I mean, like this is, yeah. So this is my inspiration. This is the kind of thing I want to see and then be inspired. I want to paint them, obviously, each miniature to like this level, which I know I can do because I'm doing it with my Howling Griffons. But I want a color scheme that stands out and really looks the part. So I've got the miniatures. I've got the guys. I've got the 10 Liberators, the 2 units of 5 Liberators. I've got all the new heroes, the new Lord. I was even looking today at dragons because why would I not want to put dragons in my army? I love dragons. House of the Dragon, yo. So yeah, dragons. I really love the archers. I really love painting cloth. And Stormcast Eternals have a lot of like cloaks and stuff on them. Just looking at these sprues, they are absolutely amazing. And it also makes me think that there is meant to be a preview on, I believe, the 10th of August, which is in about a couple of weeks' time. And they're kind of doing what they did with 40k, where they're doing like a little online campaign thing, and the winner of this area, the city, this fight in the city, will ultimately lead to either the Stormcast Eternals or the Skaven being shown the new miniatures. And we all know that the first 2 armies out of the gates for a new edition are generally going to get some seriously new kits. I mean, like, look what the Space Marines got, look what the Tyranids got. And we know that the Stormcast Eternals and the Skavens are going to get given that same treatment. Now, you can also say straight away that looking on the sprues, that some of these are going to be available in as they are right now. I mean, the Lord, I believe he's entirely on that one sprue, so I can imagine him being readily available, either sold separately on his own, or he'll stay in like the Spearhead box or the starter sets, like basically like the Leviathan Terminator Captain. You can only really get that model in the Combat Patrol box and the starter set. So I think that's probably what's going to happen to him. This miniature, I don't know which one this one is. I believe this is the female Stormcast with the eye patches, and she comes with a little griffin. I could see her being sold separately in her own little box with that one sprue. The prosecutors, they're literally one per sprue, so you know I can see them coming in a box of 3 quite easily without any problem. And the same as the and these guys, the Liberators, I can see them coming in a box of 10 with those 2 sprues. You know, basically break them 2 off, fold them over, and yeah, easily. Now, the one thing that instantly makes me think that, well, the Ruination Chamber, the big Ruination Chamber Paladin Knight sort of guys, ladies, they're definitely going to get a multi-part kit. And the reason why is because of this sprue here has multiple. It has those on it, those 3 and the little mortals, and there's 2 other heroes on this sprue. So yeah, I think there'll be a separate kit for them, probably loaded out with slightly different weapons. I'm fully expecting to see these guys stay in like the Spearhead box, and the other version of them with like maybe a big gnarly 2-hander coming out in a separate kit, a little bit like the Annihilators with the hammer and shield, and then we got the Grand Hammer version come out in their own separate kit. But yeah, the fact that they're on this sprue with 2 heroes kind of makes me think that straight away. But there's so many things I want to do, and one of the things that before I commit to the sort of paint job that I want to do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for my rulebook to arrive this week, and then I'm going to read all of the background, and really all of the background and the lore, and really get into it and have a real think about where I want my Stormcast army to come from, where I want them to be based, and where I want them to fight. So that could be in any of the realms, and it could even be an established city or some little backwater world out somewhere, which would be kind of cool. And then I'm going to be looking at my color palette. Now, obviously, I'll look at the existing Stormhost that the studio have done. But I can guarantee you now, I will not be doing the Hammers of Sigmar, and I will not be doing the Howling Knights. If I was to do one of the existing Stormhosts, the Anvil Hammers would probably be the most interesting one to do. Or maybe is it the Celestial Warbringers, the purple ones? Purely because I would like maybe to paint that purple, and like the real sort of Emperor's Children type purple, using something like GW Phoenician purple and really doing the highlights and stuff. Because again, this is an army you don't see very often. You don't see Stormcast done in black very often, and you certainly don't see them done in the purple very often. And that's kind of like the way I want the army to sort of look out and stand out and be like, whoa, that's really, really cool. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing. Or I might just try to create my own color scheme, maybe a blue and white, half and half, or even maybe a blue and black, half and half. You know, I want to maybe stay away from red, because obviously I've got the Howling Griffons. But maybe something a bit sort of like knightly might be quite interesting. But yeah, but that's the video. So this is part 1, obviously. Part 1 of the passion project, Age of Sigmar passion project, I guess we could call it. So there's going to be a lot of thinking and a lot of musing over how I'm going to do this. And I want to bring you guys and ladies along with me. So there's going to be videos on what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. There'll be painting videos, hopefully, for all of the characters, or at least a good chunk of them. there'll be bits and pieces of how I'm going to do certain parts. And yeah, so as I'm going along, I'll try to come up with content that I can share with you and do with you as I'm building and painting this. This is an army that I don't necessarily want done in a week. Like, this is an army that I want to, maybe in 6 months' time, I might only have all of this painted, built and painted. Maybe in 6 months' time, I literally might have that sprue done. Who knows? That's the beauty with these type of passion projects. You just keep building and painting, and then once you've essentially got your basis done, then you kind of start adding stuff to it. Like, it's been like nearly 8-9 months since I started my Stormcast Eternals. Sorry, my Space Marines, my Howling Griffons, and I'm now only getting to the point where I have a 2,000 point list that I'm aiming towards, and I have everything I need for that 2,000 point list. Now just a matter of just working through and getting it all painted and then getting it on the table. And as you can see in the background, a vast bulk of it are in my cabinet, and my tanks on the top of the cabinet, and it's just super cool. And it's really nice to see that project come together and really start coming into its own. And that's kind of what I want this sort of to be. So that's the video. So whatever you, if you got any comments, if you got any questions, if you got any ideas, any things to look at, any bits of lore that you've read that could spark the imagination, leave it in the comments below. Obviously, you know, get out over to Instagram, and I'll put a link for Breach and Brush's Instagram channel in the description below, so you can check that out yourself, and feel free to tell him that, you know, that you come from this video, and you too have been inspired by his amazing work. And yeah, this is just, it's going to be fun. I'm really excited. Like, new edition, new army technically, and I think this is really good. Like, you kind of need these passion projects just to really get the creative juices flowing. It's not always about speed painting and getting your miniatures onto the table and beating your pile of shame, or whatever they want to call it. I don't call it a pile of shame. I call it a pile of endless possibilities. You know, always look at it on the positive side. Pile of shame means that, you know, you've done something wrong and you haven't. You've bought some toy soldiers and you haven't done anything with them. That's not shameful. It's just, you know, just waiting for the right time to get it done. Waiting for that inspiration, that spark of creative juices to really get into it. And that's what this is. So hopefully you will be in the same boat as me. You'll be also going to do this. And if you do, let me know in the comments. And, you know, tag me in your posts on Instagram and stuff like that. And I'll look forward to seeing them. So, yeah, that's the video. If you like what I'm doing, please like, subscribe, and comment, ring the bells, and check members areas and Patrons and all that good stuff. And I will definitely be seeing you in the next video, everybody. Goodbye for now.